I will call the Thursday, November 19th, 2009 meeting to order. Our invocation night be led by Pastor Ian McFadden from the River Community Church.
Let's pray. Dear Father, we thank you for the freedom to gather and to govern ourselves according to conscience. For those whose sweat and blood have guarded this gift, we also thank you. Tonight we pray that you would guide our hearts and our words as we discuss, deliberate, and do business. Cause your love for justice to season our discourse. Cause your mercy to flavor our thinking. And since good ends can be sought through untoward means, we ask that you preside not only over the decisions made, but also our carriage in reaching them. We give you special thanks for the safe home return of Marines from our midst tonight. We thank you for their courage, their sacrifice. And Father, we ask your comfort and peace upon those whose sons and daughters have not returned. Having given up your own son to death that others might live, you know personally the cost of their bravery. Where self-interest and cowardice lurk in our hearts, we ask you to replace it with service and courage like yours. Thank you for those among us whose lives challenge us to live for more than ourselves. We ask for your healing grace on Miss Laura Kluat. Let her know your comfort. Guard us, guide us, bless our parish, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor McFadden. Next, we're honored to have for our pledge tonight the Ascension Christian School Student Council. Would y'all come forward, please?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. Megan Pellegrin, would you please come forward, please, ma'am? President Martinez.
Megan, this is a new gavel for being children's president of the student body. Megan Pellegrin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have received this, and it's been an honor to be student council president of my school. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you for coming. Mr. and Ms. Mark Pellegrin are in the back. Mark is principal of Ascension Christian. Thank y'all. Thank you for these good kids. Roll call, Ms. Suzanne. All present. Chair additions, I have none. Public comment period, sign in with Ms. Suzanne. Anything on the agenda, and you'll be allowed 3 minutes. Scott, we're ready? Okay. We'll move into number 5. This is man, it's quite an honor. We have some returning Marines from Iraq, and it's our pleasure to honor these young men tonight and give them thanks. President Martinez.
It's my honor to have these Marines and to be in their company tonight. And they're members of the 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marine Regiment, based in Baton Rouge, but volunteered to serve with the 2nd Battalion, 23rd Marine Regiment, out of Camp Pendleton, California. They all participated in Operation Iraqi Freedom. They were deployed from October 14, 2008 to August 27, 2009. Their mission was to help rebuild the country, provide security for the transportation of key personnel within Iraq. They also were on call to bring out ordnance teams to work on enemy bomb sites. 3 of the 12 honorees are from Ascension Parish. I'll name them in alphabetical order, but Lance Corporal Aaron Bacala, son of Tony Bacala, Chief Deputy for the Sheriff's Office. Bacala, would you
come forward?
Certificate of Appreciation. This is hereby awarded to Lance Corporal Aaron Bacala. The Parish of Ascension is honored to present the certificate to Lance Corporal Aaron Bacala of the 2nd Battalion, 23rd Marine Regiment for his service as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom from October 2008 to August 2009. We join with the entire Parish Council and Parish and a grateful nation in thanking you for your efforts in the cause of freedom. Mr. Bacala. Next, Kristen Burley from Ascension Parish. Burley, we also want to thank you for your service on behalf of myself and the council and our grateful parish and nation. Thank you for what you do for us. Thank you. Mr. Trent Turner, also from Ascension Parish. Thank you for your efforts, thank you for your bravery, and we appreciate your leadership. Okay, Mr. McClung? Okay. Okay, Lance Corporal Brandon Cullen. Cullen is also the nephew of Councilman Dennis Cullen. Next, Lance Corporal Patrick Roberts. Lance Corporal Terrell Mack. Corporal Philip Daspit. We have three that's not here tonight. Lance Corporal Jason Ross, Lance Corporal Nicholas Edwards, and Corporal Adam Thibodeau. We thank you again. President, you don't think I'm going to let my devil dog stand alone? No, what's the Marine? Always the Marine.
All right. Let that Navy man in there.
Yeah, but the Navy got to bring y'all where y'all want to go.
Show you the way. Hoorah!
Thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce Miss Pam Gotro. She will sing a patriotic song to our Marines.
I worked in your fields this morning. I traveled your highways today. Used a creek and a rainbow for a road map, and a tree for a chapel to pray. I'm so proud to sing your praises and to live in the land of the free. I'm just one of your children who loves you, your home, sweet home to me. United States of America, where I can be whatever I can be, free to think as I choose, right or wrong, win or lose, where my only limitation is me. United States of America, I believe in the red, white, and blue, and I thank you for all you've done for me, and I'll do my best for you. United States of America, hallelujah, we love you. And as a citizen of my country, I believe it is my duty to obey your laws, to try to be a worthy individual, a positive example, and a productive and responsible citizen, to practice diligently an attitude of brotherly love and hold no hatred against anyone. And when one of my brothers makes a mistake, be he peasant or president, I will try to treat him as I would want to be treated, with compassion and understanding. And I will continue to be proud for the opportunity to live in the greatest nation in the world, a nation born out of faith in God and sustained only if that faith and the support of the American people will remain strong. Sing it with me. United States of America, hallelujah, we love you. United States of America, hallelujah, we love you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much, Pam. If there are any parents of any of these Marines here tonight, would you please stand up, please? Thank y'all very much. Next, we'll move into our Parish President's report. President Martinez.
Yes, we have Dr. Paul Lamberty with the Baton Rouge Veterans Center here tonight. He wants to say a few words.
Would you Marines hold up just a minute? Mr. Lamberty's got something that might be right in your line.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the Baton Rouge Vet Center, I feel honored to be invited to join with you tonight in welcoming these fine young Marines back into your parish, and for having served their country with dedication and pride. A few years ago, I had the pleasure of serving in the United States Navy as a hospital corpsman. In the last year and a half, I was with the Fleet Marine Forces on Okinawa. And ever since then, I've been dedicated to helping my brothers who have served, my sisters who have served, and it's my pleasure to be the team leader at the Baton Rouge Vet Center. We are here for you. We know that the adjustment back from military life to civilian life at times has bumps in the road, and those are the times we're here to help you. We're here to answer questions and just to be a friend. And so in the days and months and weeks ahead, we'd be proud to have you come and join with us as we will sit and listen, share some coffee, and above all, share your love for the Marines. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Next, Julio Dumas wants to tell us a little bit about the Baton Rouge sympathy announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President, and Pat Bell, Chairman, and members of the Council, and Ascension Parish as a whole. Just wanted to share with you, I have Mr. Alan Hopper, who's the Executive Director of the Baton Rouge Symphony with me. I wanted to share with you a little event that's going to come on December 5th here to Ascension Parish. My family, in conjunction with Kevin Kelly and Homeless House, are going to sponsor the symphony to come to Ascension Parish for a Christmas holiday concert under the Oaks. Not quite sure how to turn this on, but there it is. The symphony has close ties to Ascension Parish in many ways. I'm going to let Mr. Hopper here tell you a little bit about that for just a second.
First, I'm delighted to be here. This is a pleasure for me, and I think that it's very interesting that part of your meeting tonight celebrates what we celebrate, and that is music and creativity and service to the community. We believe in growing our organization to be better involved with the surrounding communities. We have wonderful education and outreach programs. We have a youth orchestra where many of the students, in fact, one of our conductors actually teaches down here. So we have this close connection, and we're looking for broader and better opportunities to be more connected to all the communities that surround the symphony. We are your symphony as well as Baton Rouge. So we are delighted to provide these services. We have a series of youth concerts where people come up to Baton Rouge. We have concerts where we come back out here. We're really excited about this holiday concert. It's a concert that we're doing quite a bit around this area, as far away as Hammond, and we're delighted that Julio and Mr. Kelly are bringing us here to do this concert this holiday season. I hope it can become a tradition for all your wonderful folks. Thank you.
So we'd like to just announce it and ask everybody to come. You can go to the Homeless House or to the brso.org. You can go to the Homeless House webpage or to the BRSO webpage and get your tickets and come to the concert. And thank you again very much for the opportunity to come before you and tell you about this wonderful holiday event here in Ascension Parish. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Next, we have a report from the Downtown Development District. Ms. Liz Urey is here tonight. Ms. Dahl is going to give us an interim report. As you know, we do give a stipend to Downtown Development District, and they're required to give us reports on a periodic basis, and this is that report tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome.
Thanks. I'm Danielle Doyle, and I am the Interim Director for Donaldsonville's Downtown Development District. I have provided you with a copy of the quarterly reports, and I have passed them out. If you have any questions, please let us know. We'll be happy to discuss any points in here with you. But of course, I'm sure you'll need some time to look that over. I also wanted to let you know that the Riverfront project is moving ahead. The levee top construction, the work on there has begun. It has also paused briefly because of the water levels have raised, so we're just waiting until that goes back down to the appropriate level and we'll continue again. I will be providing a more detailed report on its progress at the strategic planning meeting in January. And I wanted to thank you all for your continued support of the DDD. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to be as effective in the economic revitalization in our historic town of Donaldsonville. And we would love for you to come and visit us sometime. A good chance would be coming up on for our Christmas parade, which is Saturday, December 5th at 2 p.m. So you can hit both events same day. And the parish president has graciously agreed to be our grand marshal. So please come out and visit us. And that's what I have today, if you have any questions.
So how long is the interim going to be here? Are y'all going to?
They are going to be looking for a permanent replacement. They will be looking for that in the next few months. They want to do a proper search and not rush into anything.
Good. Thank you for a good job.
Thank you, ma'am, and we do have our parish float will be in the Donaldsonville parade. So,
Good. I wanted to make sure, bring friends.
yes, ma'am, all the councilmen will be there. Next, I'll move into the parish president. Is that it on your report?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sir. Next, we'll move into the consent agenda section. Item A, adopt special council meeting minutes of October 26, 2009.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion, any objection? Motion carries. Bid items 1 through 4.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chris Lohr,
Second.
second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next, I have items C, D, F, G, and H.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Oliver Joseph. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I have our committee recommendations coming next. We have our Finance Chairman, Chris Lohr.
Well, the following recommendations all passed out of the Finance Committee unanimously. The first is the request for qualifications for a 2009 Parish Auditor. We need a motion to authorize. Okay. Well, let me real quick and I think I have to read the whole motion. The motion to authorize Falk & Winkler, LLC, to perform the 2009 audit for Ascension Parish government, and to further authorize Parish President Tommy A. Martinez to execute said contract.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Oliver Joseph, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Item B is Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant State Allocation, $265,000.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare, second by Councilman Randy Kluart. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Capital Outlay 2009-2010 Applications Awards for Lamar Dixon Expo Center, $280,000, and Oak Grove Community and Recreational Center, $50,000.
A motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson. Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Corps of Engineers 2004 contract, additional funds requested for sewer master plan.
A motion by Councilman Randy Kluart. Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
And the 2009 State Homeland Security Program Resolution 2.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Second by Councilman Adrian Thompson. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Item 9, Transportation Committee recommendation. Chairman Dempsey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What you have before you is the selection committee short list for traffic services. The first three that made is ABMB Engineers, Burt Klein Peter, and Bucart Horn.
I'll make a motion to Bucart.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson, Bucart Horn, second by Councilman Randy Kluart. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Item B, the short list is for the surveying services, SJB, BFM, and ABMB.
I'd like to make a motion for, go ahead, Todd.
I make a motion that we go with SJB.
There's a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert for SJB, second by Councilman Randy Kluart. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
The short list for the geotech inspection services, Julius Engineering Services, PSI, and Orban Associates.
I'd like to make a motion that we go with PSI.
Second.
Councilman Randy Kluart motions PSI. Councilman Adrian Thompson is a second. Have any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank the selection committee on the hard work, and thank Miss Jackie, all her hard work too.
Okay, sir.
That's the end of the report.
Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Just
Councilman Valentine.
Just a question. Chairman Lambert, the Transportation Committee, I certainly admire the process. I think it's a great process. But I'm not, is this the process that we're going to continue to do, where we get to 3 committees and essentially we just get a vote from the council, or is the Transportation Committee, shouldn't it be its duty to at least come with a recommendation, or are we not
Good.
going to do that?
That's a good question, Mr. Valentine. On short notice that we had on these selections, we felt better that we'd bring it to the full council.
Okay.
Hopefully, the next selection, we'll have it before, and we'll bring you that recommendation from the transportation.
Right. And that's where I think it'd be a good idea, that way
Yeah.
you get some debate on the situation and to the public and what have you, and that way, I think it's a little smoother process. If we don't like your recommendation, naturally, anybody could do what they like.
Appreciate
That's, I think, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any more? Thank you. Next, we have general business. First call, emergency telephone alert system overview. Mr. Rick Weber and Mr. Red Delatte.
Mr. Chairman, Parish President, I was asked to give you a quick overview of First Call, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so. You should have a blue folder in front of you that has a quick synopsis of what I'm about to describe to you. Slide 2, what I want to discuss is just the First Call outbound system, which is actually our official 911 system, reverse 911 system for the parish. And then a quick overview of the First Call inbound system, and then the medical special needs registry. The First Call outbound system, it is the official reverse 911 system for the parish, and it was designed by First Call specifically for Ascension Parish. First Call is the primary system used to alert the APSO CRT teams and the hazmat team, and also the Gonzales PD's CRT team. Slide 4, the petrochemical industry uses it in case they do need to alert the general public in the event of an incident. And we also have established for the council fixed list that would have to get your permission to do so, but we have fixed list to alert the CRT teams and the council. But when we do activate the fixed list to notify all of you guys, you would get 3 messages. You would get a text to voice, and an email. And if you can take a look on the right side of your packet, I have a risk analysis there. That risk analysis will be completed here in a couple of weeks. This is just a snapshot of what's in it. What we're doing is looking at about 20 different locations throughout the parish that may be subject to an incident. And what it does, it looks at what is the probability of occurrence, and then what is the consequence should it happen. And then we have all the GIS data located within the risk analysis. But if you look at the last page, that is actually the First Call database that you're looking at. So it gives them a quick reference point. If a fire chief was out there, or if a deputy was out there, they can look at the grid system that's on that was designed years ago. They can ask to set off grid R07. The 911 center would call the First Call operator, and that grid would be alerted. So everybody that has a cell phone registered within that grid, that zip code, and all the landlines would be notified. So this is a quick way to get the information out, either to shelter in place or to evacuate to another location. That's the basic structure of the outbound system. The First Call inbound system is our community emergency information line. And a parish resident from anywhere in the country can call back in to get emergency information anywhere in the parish. So if you look at slide 5, the left portion of the slide is actually our website. So the community inbound system, or the community information line, mirrors that website. So the same information that you see on our website gets uploaded simultaneously to the inbound system that a parish resident can call in on. So, and in addition to the inbound and outbound systems, what First Call did design for us is our medical special needs registry. And if you look in the back on the right side of your packet, you do have a copy of the actual medical special needs registry. And this was developed based on an after-action review from Hurricane Gustav. Everybody that was medically dependent on electricity, everybody that needed oxygen is now on this list, and we will follow up with these folks as soon as we activate and we get a hurricane out in the Gulf. So this was as of the after-action review from Gustav. And if I could, if you guys could be an advocate for me and to get this out to the public. I really need to get the general public to register their cell phones, to register their PDAs, because when they do so, if we have an incident within a zip code that they live in, that cell phone will get notified. It'll get alerted. So if a resident has an issue where they can't get to a computer, if they can't get to our website to register, they can call our office at 621-8360. We will assist them any way that we can. And again, the three systems that we use primarily is the outbound reverse 911, that first call design, the inbound system where a resident can call in and get emergency information, and our medical special needs registry. That was the three basic products that first call designed for us. Other than being subject to your questions, I have Mr. Red DeLatte here that can answer anything technical as far as these systems are concerned.
I don't know if anybody got anything?
Just one thing, Mr. Chairman.
Dempsey, Councilman Lambert.
Rick, the community college and the schools, you're gonna better get this, maybe make a pass through and get with them on, get with them on this.
We did know that the school board, I think the school board, we was talking to Johnny, and he wants something similar in addition to what we do have. They want a separate system. But I will check with the colleges to make sure that we get on here. I know LSU, if I'm not mistaken, LSU is a customer of First Call, and they're all on it. So I will get with them to see what we can do.
Great.
Read about that. Very good program. Mr. DeLatte, are you the founder of First Call, or?
Yes, I am, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate you. Just another step of Ascension Parish going to the top. So we thank you. Thank you too, Rick.
Okay.
Pat,
Councilman Johnson.
Rick, just to quantify the people who may not be on this list or people that in the future have special needs, how do they get on this list to where they need, in case you can monitor them?
Right. We modify the list every month. We keep it updated. They can go to our website and click on the medical special needs link, and you can fill out a form at that website, or you can contact our office and we'll do it for you. We have forms at the libraries that they can pick up, and they will also assist you in getting to the website to get registered. But this thing is constantly updated once a month. We try to update it once a month. So if you guys can help me get it out to the general public, I do appreciate it.
You certainly will.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Mr. DeLatte, thank you, sir. Next, item 11, resolutions. I have a speaker, Ms. Goppel.
Thank you and good evening. 28 changes to the charter were recommended by the Charter Commission. Of the 28, 2 are worth mentioning. Why would this council want to tie the parish president's salary to the sheriff's salary? This would be a pay increase for the parish president who already receives $100,000 a year. This council does not need to change the charter to raise the parish president's salary. They can change it today. Section 302 of the charter now reads, "The governing authority may change the salary of the president by ordinance, but not during the last year of the president's term of office." Why waste $75,000 to $100,000 for an unnecessary special parish-wide election? Secondly, ordinances would only be read in summary. Presently, they are read in full. It appears a majority of this council wishes to keep the public in the dark about the laws they are proposing. At least everyone, including this council, could hear an ordinance quickly read once by legal counsel. Meetings are not lengthy because ordinances are read. Not reading ordinances in full will leave more room for corruption in government. How our authorities rule tells us a lot about them. How we fulfill our responsibilities as citizens says a lot about us. James A. Garfield said this, "Now more than ever, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, reckless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, recklessness, and corruption." Presently under Section 1004 of the Charter, these proposed changes will be voted on a package on the ballot. You're proposing for May 1, 2010. They will not be listed. Citizens will be asked to vote yes or no on the changes in a final draft copy on file with the parish secretary, as published in the paper of record, which is the Gonzales Weekly Citizen. This publication reaches at most 20% of the voting population with this circulation. How many who do receive the paper will pore over the small print in the public notice? We're all busy, but if most people continue to be uninformed and ignorant about what is going on in our government at every level, local, state, and federal, and do nothing, then we have no excuse when our freedoms are lost and our money is wasted. Thank you.
Okay, resolutions authorizing the following to be placed on the May 2010 ballot. A, resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana on May 1st, 2010, for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension certain proposed amendments to Article 4 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to membership of advisory boards and commissions, ability of Ascension Parish Council to enter into intergovernmental agreements with governmental entities, budgetary, physical, and other controls over all special boards, commissions, agencies, districts, or any device having governmental functions, providing for bonds for the treasurer/chief financial officer, providing for vacancies on the Ascension Parish Council, and providing for vacancies in any other local office within the Parish of Ascension, making application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. I'll need a motion, please. Motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion?
Yes, Chairman.
All right, Councilman Valentine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After careful consideration on this matter, I cannot vote yes to call this election. We as council members have had very little debate on these issues. The charter is our constitution, just like the federal constitution. It should only be changed for serious matters and not simple for the sake of change or simply for saying we're going to do something. With these changes, we are doing nothing meaningful for this parish. While the Charter Commission worked hard, it did not address the issue for which it was formed, to stop the conflicts. None of these changes proposed will stop any conflicts. Most of these changes proposed by the Commission will not change anything, tinkering with the sentence here or changing a word there, but these changes are not necessary. Nothing proposed will make government or this council's actions any better. However, there are two changes that are proposed which will make our charter actually worse, in my opinion. One is to eliminate the complete reading of the proposed ordinance as we do now. Instead, a synopsis or a condensed version will be read. This will keep our citizens from being informed like they do in Washington, D.C. And we certainly don't want to become like Washington, D.C. Our citizens have the right to know. Two, the most controversial amendment locks the parish president's salary raise with the state sheriff's salary increases. That means the state legislatures will decide how much to pay our parish president. Why? Why would we let officials from Baton Rouge tell us what we should pay our president? Why should a senator from Monroe or a representative from Bunkie tell us what we should pay our parish president when that individual doesn't know the scope of the work that our parish president does? We do. You're essentially giving up the ability and your duty to do your job. But the most important reason why I'm not going to vote for this, call this election, is the cost of the election. I noted in the budget there's $75,000 set aside for an election. I'm assuming that that's what this election will cost. $75,000 is a lot of money in these times. If we had a problem that needed to be fixed, it needed to be fixed now, it would be one thing. That's not the case. We're fixing to blow $75,000, in my opinion, for no reason. We should have placed the cost of the election on the ballot, or we should have put the election on the ballot, of course, when we had the opportunity to share with someone, but unfortunately that is not the case. This is about saving money with our economy like it is and not getting any better anytime soon. We need to commit our funds to something better than elections that accomplish nothing but highlight a raise for the parish president position. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Anybody else?
I move to table the agenda item pertaining to the May elections and all subsequent resolutions.
I second that.
I got a first, I got a second to table. Do I have any discussion? Do I have any objection? Councilman Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes, sir.
There's no discussion on a tabled motion. You have to vote on the motion. You can check with Ms. Mann. I'm sure
Ms.
Ms. Mann
Manda?
knows.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. I need a vote, please.
Object.
Give me a roll call.
Councilman Kulat,
Object.
Councilman Cullen,
Object.
Councilman Johnson,
Object.
Councilman Joseph,
Object.
Councilman Dixie Lambert,
Object.
Councilman Todd Lambert,
Yes.
Councilman Laurel,
Object.
Councilman Shake Snyder,
Object.
Councilman Thompson, Councilman Valentine,
Yes.
Okay, I'll go back to the original motion. I have a first, I have a second. Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes, I mean, I just want to make note of a couple of things, implications on, number one, that information is not getting out to the parish. The commission that worked on this, the Charter Commission, one of the things that the implications are that it's not getting out into the parish. Just want everybody to know that the Charter Commission, which is a group of people within the parish, met for probably over a year in very public meetings held on television in Ascension Parish. The minutes were made into the newspaper. Discussions were made, pros and cons, as this was going on. We had a couple of meetings that the information was brought out in which we delayed time to meet on this. And so I feel very confident that the people that haven't had ample opportunity as anything else in this parish to know what's going on and have their input. And the other thing, the implication that we've given up our right to vote on the parish president's salary, I think is quite the opposite. We're simply putting the minimum for the parish president's salary is to at least being as higher paid as any other elected official in the parish. We can come here again after that and vote to give him a raise from that up to 15% and make it even higher than any other elected official. So all we're doing is raising the minimum, which I think is at the very least appropriate to the office, regardless of who it is. And I think that was one of the things that the Charter Commission made, quite plain. So I think, those controversies are something that has been addressed, and I feel very comfortable with. And this gives an opportunity for the people in the parish to go out and vote and decide what they want to do, and I think we need to give them opportunity. There was also a concerted effort by the administration and the council to have this election in a shared election and try to save some money. It didn't work out, and so therefore the next election was called in order to get this thing behind us so we can move forward with something else. So that's why the costs have incurred, and I don't know the difference between the cost of the election we're having now and any other type of shared election. Parish President, can you maybe enlighten us?
Yeah, there's 5 different elections that's going to propositions that's going to be in the ballot next year. Extension, drainage, library, this if you put it on. So there'll be some cost sharing. You can put them all at the same time if you'd want to in the May election, if that you so choose.
So it's probably as good a time as we can to have this.
Yeah, mental health, I can't remember, there's 4 for sure, but it would be on a cost sharing basis on that, so it wouldn't be $75,000 just to put this on there. So I just want to let you know that.
Okay. So, I just think people need to be aware of, all that information. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay, I've got a first, I've got a second. Any objection?
I object.
Object.
Roll call.
I rise to a point of order, Chairman. Chairman, I rise to a point of order. It's not necessary to call a roll call. Typically,
It's not necessary,
no,
no.
you essentially can note the 2 people that voted no
Right.
and move on.
Right.
It's a matter of
Right.
saving time.
Right. Roll call, please.
Councilman Kulat,
Yes.
Councilman Cullen,
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
No.
I beg your pardon?
No.
No. Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No. No.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
No. Okay, resolution passes. Item B, resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana on May 1st, 2010 for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension certain proposed amendments to the Article 4 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to qualifications of the members of the Ascension Parish Council, modification of the district boundaries, requirements of special meetings of the Ascension Parish Council, and appointment of a secretary of the Ascension Parish Council, and the employment of persons by the Ascension Parish Council, making application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Randy Cluart.
Second.
Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution.
Object. Object.
All right, give me a roll call, please.
Councilman Cluart.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Lohr.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
No.
8 yeas.
Okay. Resolution passes. Item C, resolution ordering calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on May the 1st, 2010, for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension a proposed amendment to Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to the mandatory review of the Ascension Parish Home Rule Charter every 10 years, making application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare.
Second.
By Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection?
Object.
We have an objection. Give me a roll call, please.
Councilman Cluart.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Lohr.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
No.
Okay, resolution passes. Item D, ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on May 1st, 2010, for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension certain proposed amendments to Article 3 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to the salary of the parish president, the powers and duties of the parish president, a vacancy in the office of the parish president, and the parish president's temporary absence, making application to the Louisiana State Board Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
So moved.
Have a motion by Councilman Shakespeare.
Second.
Have a second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection?
Object.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Cluart.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Lohr.
Yes.
Councilman Shake Snyder.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson. And Councilman Valentine.
No. Okay, resolution passes. Item E, resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on May 1st, 2010, for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension certain proposed amendments to Article 5 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to references to the parish secretary and the treasurer/chief financial officer, duties of the treasurer/chief financial officer, and qualifications of the parish attorney, making application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chris Lohr, second by Councilman Randy Cluart. Any discussion? Any objection?
Object.
Roll call.
Councilman Cluart.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Law.
Yes.
Councilman Chase
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
Councilman Valentine.
No.
All right, resolution passes. Item F, resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana on May 1st, 2010 for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension certain proposed amendments to Article 6 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to the adoption of ordinances, the purposes for which resolution may be adopted. Reading a summary of an ordinance into the records of the Ascension Parish Council, and adoption of emergency ordinances, making applications to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
So moved.
Well, I got a motion by Councilman Shakespeare, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection?
I object.
Without objection, roll call, please.
Councilman Kuai.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Law.
Yes.
Councilman Chase
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
No.
Okay, resolution passes. Item G, resolution ordering calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on May 1st, 2010, for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension a proposed amendment to Article 7 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to the bonding requirements of members of the Ascension Parish Council or employees of the Parish of Ascension, designated by the Ascension Parish Council, making application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Randy
Second.
Kuwa, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection?
I object, Chairman.
Roll call, Ms. Suzanne.
Councilman Kuai.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Law.
Yes.
Councilman Chase
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
No.
Okay, resolution passes. Item H, resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, on May 1st, 2010, for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the Parish of Ascension certain proposed amendments to Article 8 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, in accordance with Article 9 of the Charter of Ascension Parish, Louisiana, relating to references to the Parish Secretary and the official journal of the Parish of Ascension, making applications to the Louisiana State Bond Commission, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Chris Lord.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any discussion? Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, this is, I've been on the council for 3 terms, and all these resolutions that's brought here to us tonight have never been a problem in the 3 terms that I've been on the council. So that's why I am objecting to all these resolutions. This is all minute stuff that we, the council, have never had any problems with. And I just want to make that statement.
Okay, sir. Any more? Any objection?
I object.
Objection? Give me a roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilman Kuai.
Yes.
Councilman Cullen.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
No.
Councilman Law.
Yes.
Councilman Chase
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
And Councilman Valentine.
No.
Okay. Resolution is approved. Next, we'll move into our introduction of ordinance section. Mr. Grant and Ricky Compton, please. Introduction of ordinance number 12. To revoke the 60-degree drainage servitude running along the center line of a previous 60-foot drainage servitude running along the center line of a previous 20-foot ditch on Lot 2B-1 of the Pyron partition.
It's moved to introduce, Chairman.
Second.
We have a move by Councilman George Valentine, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Item 13, to amend Section 7, Paragraph H, Item 4 of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on June 20th, 1996, promulgating an official personnel policy manual for the Parish of Ascension and amended by the Ascension Parish Council on January 8th, 2009.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Randy Cluett, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Item 14, to amend Section 5, Paragraph G of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on June 20th, 1996, promulgating an official personnel policy manual for the Parish of Ascension and amended by the Ascension Parish Council on January 8th, 2009.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is introduced. Item 15, introduction of an ordinance to amend Section 5, Paragraph P of the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on June 20, 1996, promulgating an official personnel policy manual for the Parish of Ascension and amended by the Ascension Parish Council on January 8, 2009.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Kent Shakespeare,
Second.
second by Councilman Randy Cluett. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance introduced. Next, we will move into our public hearing section of our meeting. Mrs. Manda, reading of ordinance, item 16.
Whereas a revision of certain budgets for the 2009 budget year for certain funds has been prepared and submitted to the council as follows. 2009 operating surplus, amendments, and fund balance after amendments are listed below. Whereas a proposed operating budget for the year 2010 includes revenues of $61,572,050, plus required fund balance of $4,605,860, for a total equal to $66,177,910, and expenditures of $61,800,710. The capital budget includes revenues of $15,302,100 plus required fund balance of $24,727,500 for a total equal to $40,029,600 and expenditures of $44,406,800. Therefore, total operating and capital budget revenues plus required fund balance equal $106,207,510 and expenditures equal $106,207,510. Interfund transfers are $32,892,200. Whereas the Ascension Parish Council has reviewed and considered such proposed budget and made revisions of same, and whereas said proposed budget was duly set after proper notice to the public for public hearing which was held on November 19, 2009, as required by the revised statutes of the State of Louisiana and the Ascension Parish Home Rule Charter, therefore be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Council of the State of Louisiana. Section 1, 2009 Amended Budget. That the amended budgets as prepared for 2009 are approved and appropriated by Ascension Parish Council with the stipulation that transfer from the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 to the General Fund and the Road and Bridge Fund in the amount necessary to maintain a balanced fund but will not exceed the amount authorized in the budget. The Recreation Fund is allocated 10% of the net 1% Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 revenues as an additional source of funding, and 10% of that share is provided to Recreation B. Funding is also provided by an allocation to Lamar-Dixon Expo Center Fund, Sales and Use Tax Number 1 Bond Sinking Fund, Office Building Construction Fund, LCDBG Hillaryville Fund, and FINS. To the extent that the resulting revenues of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 exceed expenditures and transfers, and after an adequate fund balance is maintained, then such excess will be transferred 50% to the Utilities Fund and 50% to the Road Construction Fund. The 1/3 net of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 2 revenues collected for fire protection shall be shared by the Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 1 at 65%, by Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 2 at 13%, and by Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 3 at 22%. All unexpended appropriations will lapse at December 31st, 2009. Section 2, 2010 Budget. That the budget proposed for the year 2010 is approved, adopted, and appropriated with the following provisions. Expenditures not contemplated in the operation of the government of Ascension Parish as set forth in this budget are to be approved in accordance with the provisions of Article 7, Section 701 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish. Transfer from the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 to the General Fund and the Road and Bridge Fund in the amount necessary to maintain a balanced fund but will not exceed the amount authorized in the budget. The Recreation Fund is allocated 10% of the net 1% sales and use tax District Number 1 revenues as an additional source of funding, and 10% of that share is provided to Recreation B. Funding is also provided by an allocation to Lamar Dixon Expo Center, Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 Sinking Fund, and FINS. To the extent that the resulting revenues of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 1 exceed expenditures and transfers, and after an adequate fund balance is maintained, then such excess will be transferred 50% to the Utilities Fund and 50% to the Road Construction Fund. The 1/3 net of the Sales and Use Tax District Number 2 revenues collected for fire protection shall be shared by the Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 1 at 65%, by Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 2 at 13%, and by Ascension Parish Fire Protection District Number 3 at 22%. Funding to provide for the 2009 encumbrances is hereby approved and appropriated. All unexpended appropriations will lapse at December 31st, 2010.
Need a motion to open public hearing, please.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Randy Cluart, second by Councilman Dennis Cullen.
Motion to close.
I have a speaker on this item, please. Ms. Goppel. Please come forward. You'll be allowed 3 minutes.
Thank you. The 2010 budget reflects an operating budget of $66 million and capital projects of $40 million. $6.8 million will be paid out to serve the parish debt, which will be $84.9 million as of January 1st, 2010. 31% of projects will be in East Ascension drainage, 26% in road construction, and 20% in the community development block grant appropriations. General fund expenditures will be 39% for operating expenses, 20% for the jail, and 40% for personnel. In the last 2 years, 3 new departments have been added to parish government and 80 employees, 54 full-time and 24 part-time. Salaries in 07 totaled $14.9 million. In 08, almost $18 million. In 09, they will be close to $20 million. And even though there will be new positions filled for 2010, salaries are projected at $21.8 million. The largest portion of the hotel motel tax, which has funded the Tourism Commission, will be appropriated for Lamar Dixon, which is projected with a budget of $1.9 million. Revenue from the general fund and sales and use tax 1 are included, along with $215,000 in donations. $596,000 is budgeted for personnel. Around $4 million from the block grant is listed to be used for hardening and climatizing buildings at Lamar. Many are disturbed and saddened with the loss of the Sorrento Civic Center for our community. This building is affordable for the public and well utilized, and has generated the most dollars in rental fees for the parish. From 1985 to 2004, the cost to operate averaged about $3,000 a year. Lighting District 6 will have a balance of $1.3 million at the end of the year. More money is collected each year than is spent. This $5 million tax should be rolled back. Although this is unlikely, citizens in the district, including Pelican Point and industry, should be aware that money could be returned to the people. There is no plan by this council or this administration to utilize the revenue and no move to roll back the tax. Most politicians are willing to keep building the balance in this fund and sit on the money. Thank you.
I need a motion closed. I got a motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson, second by Councilman Oliver Joseph.
Motion moved.
I've got a motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson, second by Councilman Randy Cluart. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Councilman Lower.
Ms. LeBlanc, I think, had some additional items she wanted to present to us. I'd like to hear from you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, good evening, members of the council. It's come to our attention that we would like to present to the council several amendments to the 2009 budget and also the 2010. You have before you those amendments. The first one being the amended 2009 budget amendments.
Which one is
Okay.
it? When say it?
I beg your pardon?
Okay, I guess.
Okay. I'll go over them with you. The first fund is the general fund, and these are the affect the expenditures and or transfers out. We want to decrease the transfer out to Lighting District Number 4 by the $2,500 that was originally put in to balance that fund. And with the passage of the tax on October 17th, that is no longer needed by that lighting district. The next fund is Sales and Use Tax District Number 1. This also involves expenditures or transfers out. We want to increase the transfers out to Lamar Dixon Fund by $100,000. Lighting District Number 4, this affects their revenues, which are transfers in. We want to increase the parcel fee by $20,000 for the tax that was approved by the electorate on the October 17th ballot in that district. And we want to show the decrease in Lighting District Number 4, the transfer in from the general fund, which no longer needs that $2,500. The next fund is Lamar Dixon Fund. Revenues and our transfers in, we want to decrease the transfers in by the Louisiana Recovery Authority Fund by $6,650,000, as these funds will not be received until 2010. We want to increase the transfers in from the sales and use tax by that $100,000 I just mentioned above. And we want to increase the miscellaneous donations and sponsorships by $60,000. The expenditures and our transfer out in the Lamar Dixon Fund, we want to decrease the acquisitions, buildings, and land by that same LRA amount, $6,650,000, as the funds will not be received until 2010. We want to increase the salaries and benefits by $77,300, utilities increase by $44,000, and the operating supplies increase by $14,400, and the increase the maintenance to the buildings and grounds by $14,300. The reason for these increases in budget amendments in the Lamar Dixon Fund is that when we acquired Lamar Dixon in the July of this year, there were, as we went through the budget process and completed it, and then we found out that there were some outstanding aged invoices that the parish was not made aware of. There were repairs, that had to be addressed, such as maintenance in buildings of ground. A sewer pump had to be replaced, roofs had to be repaired in 2 of the buildings, and also the computer conversion by the parish. The cost to do that was not known in September. And we did not have a clear understanding of the personnel requirements that would be required at that center back in September when we did the budget. So therefore is the reason for the increase in the expenditures. The next fund is the Community Development Block Grant. Revenues or transfers in, we wanted to decrease. Now this is the fund that houses that stimulus fund. We want to decrease that LCDBG grant by $10 million, as those funds would not be received until 2010, and we want to decrease appropriations and grants by $3,350,000, as those funds will not be received till 2010, and that is part of the $10 million. The expenditures and our transfers out, we want to decrease transfers out to the Lamar Dixon Fund by that $6,650,000 for funds not received until 2010. And also we want to make a note that the Lamar Dixon Fund will be reclassified from a special revenue fund to an enterprise fund. We will do that in the final version of the budget. And then the next one is some amendments we are proposing for the 2010 budget. The budget that is, the fund that is affected is, the first one is the Lamar Dixon Fund. Revenues, transfers in, increase of transfers in from the LRA Fund, the Louisiana Recovery Act Fund, by the $6,650,000 for funds used to purchase Lamar Dixon. Expenditures or transfer out, we want to increase acquisitions, buildings, and land by that amount, $6,650,000 for funds used to purchase Lamar Dixon. And then the next one is that the fund that houses this money, Community Development Block Grant Fund. We want to increase the grant by $10 million, the fund revenues by $10 million, and then in the expenditures and transfers out, we want to increase the transfers out to Lamar Dixon by $6,650,000 and increase appropriations and grants by $3,350,000. And the same note applies to the 2010 budget for Lamar Dixon. We will reclassify that fund from a special revenue fund to an enterprise fund.
Okay, Councilman Lowell?
I'll make a substitute motion that we include these budget amendments in the 2009 in the ordinance.
I have a substitute motion. I have our Councilman Lowell, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any object? Councilman Ken Shakespeare.
Yeah, just, what happened, Gwen, that we didn't get this Monday? I mean, we just...
Mr. Grant can probably address that.
Councilman, the award has been made. We have now the process of putting together our project descriptions and receiving the money, which should occur in 2010. Just to help you understand this a little bit better, from a standpoint of an acquisition standpoint, we will make payments this year on Lamar Dixon that will have us paid up through 2010. We may have to make another payment until 2011.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Any objection? Budget amendments passed. Okay. Ms. Amanda? Number 19?
I get the pleasure for the next four.
Okay, I'm sorry, Rick. Ricky, before you get started, I would like to at this time wish you a happy birthday. Today's your birthday.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, item 19, reading of ordinance, Mr. Ricky Compton.
Ordinance number DC 09-08. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974, and whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within this jurisdiction, and whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4th, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish, and whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code of Ordinances was adopted on January 9th, 2003 and made effective April 2nd, 2003, whereas the Ascension Parish Planning Commission feels this ordinance is necessary to clarify industrial definitions as regulated throughout the Code of Ordinances. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that Section 17-378 of Ascension Parish Development Code, identified as Chapter 17 of the Code of Ordinances for Ascension Parish, Louisiana, is amended as follows. Specific definition, 17-378. Light industrial. Intended to accommodate light manufacturing, research and development, warehousing, wholesale and processing uses. Light industrial is intended to encourage originality and flexibility in design, to ensure that the development is properly related to its site and buffered to surrounding land uses. Development should be operated in a relatively clean and quiet manner in accordance with applicable noise ordinance regulations, Chapter 14, Article 3 of the Code of Ordinances, and should not be obnoxious to nearby residential or commercial uses. Uses shall create little or no environmental or safety problems. Heavy industrial, intended to accommodate high-impact manufacturing, compounding, processing, packaging, treatment, and other industrial uses, including extractive and waste-related uses that by their nature create a nuisance and which are not properly associated with or are compatible with nearby residential or commercial neighborhoods. Industrial facility, any development within an industrially zoned piece of property that is classified as a heavy industrial use. Severability. In the event that any portion of this ordinance is ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance.
Need a motion to open public hearing, please. Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Motion.
Have a second by Councilman Randy Cleward. Anyone wish to speak on this item, come forward. You'll be allowed 3 minutes. Motion closed by Councilman Chris Lower. Second by Councilman Randy Cleward. I'll need a motion to approve the ordinance. Councilman Randy Cleward makes the motion. Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Number 22, please, Ricky.
Ordinance number DC 09-07. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974, and whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within this jurisdiction, and whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4th, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish, and whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code ordinance was adopted on January 9, 2003 and made effective April 2, 2003. Whereas the Ascension Parish Planning Commission feels this modification is necessary to ensure the life, safety, and welfare of the public. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that Section 17-378 of Ascension Parish Development Code, identified as Chapter 17 of the Code of Ordinances for Ascension Parish, Louisiana, is amended as follows. See Exhibit A for final version. Section 17-378, specific definitions, building line, a line on a lot parallel to lot lines and the adjacent vehicle use corridors located a sufficient distance there from to provide the minimum yards required by this ordinance. The building line delimits the area which buildings are permitted subject to all applicable provisions of this ordinance. Vehicle use corridor, an area of land designated for vehicular use, not specific to the property on which it is located. A vehicle use corridor may be a public or private servitude or right-of-way. Yard front, a yard extending the full width of the front of a lot between the vehicle use corridor and the front building line. Severability. In the event that any portion of this ordinance is ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance.
So moved.
Need a motion to open public hearing. Councilman Kent Shakespeare.
Second.
Second by Councilman Chris Lower. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, please come forward, sign in. Ms. Suzanne, you'll be allotted 3 minutes. A motion to close by Councilman Kent Shakespeare. Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. I need a motion to approve the ordinance. Motion by Councilman Agent Thompson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Item 25, please, Rick.
Ordinance number SR 09-02. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974, and whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within this jurisdiction, and whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish, and whereas the Ascension Parish Regional Planning Commission adopted the subdivision regulations as part of the official plan of the parish in accordance with Louisiana revised statutes on January 21st, 1971, whereas the Planning Commission feels these changes are necessary to make the different codes consistent in the view of public life, safety, and welfare. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that Sections 10.201, 10.304, and 35.108 of the subdivision regulations for Ascension Parish, Louisiana are amended as follows. 10.201, the term street shall be used herein to mean improved corridors designated for vehicular use. 10.304, vehicular use corridor, an area of land designated for vehicular use not specific to the property on which it is located. A vehicle use corridor may be a public or private servitude or right-of-way. 35.108, building line setbacks shall be applied as identified and required in the Ascension Parish Development Code. Severability. In the event that any portion of this ordinance is ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court of competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of the ordinance.
A motion to open public hearing, please. A motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Anyone wish to speak on this ordinance, on this subject, please come forward and sign in. Ms. Suzanne, you'll be allotted 3 minutes.
Motion to close.
Motion closed by Councilman Benny Johnson. Second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. I'll need a motion to approve the ordinance, please.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Number 28, please, Rick.
Ordinance number ZT09-02, whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974, and whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within this jurisdiction, and whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish, and whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code ordinance was adopted on January 9, 2003 and made effective April 2, 2003, whereas the Ascension Parish Development Code includes adopted zoning tables as an exhibit and by reference, whereas the Ascension Parish Planning and Zoning Commission feels this modification is necessary to ensure the life, safety, and welfare of the public. Be it ordained by the Ascension Parish Governing Authority that Table B of Ascension Parish Development Code, identified as Chapter 17 of the Code of Ordinances for Ascension Parish, Louisiana, is amended as follows. See Exhibit A for the final version. Minimum front setback feet on the top row and a note being added, the above setbacks are measured from the closest part of a building or structure, including but not limited to eaves, overhangs, or cantilevered features to the closest property line or vehicular use corridor, whichever is closest to the structure. Severability. In the event that any portion of this ordinance is ever held invalid or unconstitutional for any reason by any court or competent jurisdiction over it, such portion shall be deemed a separate, distinct, and independent provision and shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of the ordinance.
Need a motion to open public hearing, please?
Motion.
Motion by, I didn't see who it was, Councilman Dennis Cullen.
Second.
Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Anyone who wish to speak on this item, come forward, sign in Mr. Zahn. You'll be allotted 3 minutes. Motion to close public hearing, Councilman Adrian Thompson. Second by Councilman Benny Johnson. I need a motion to approve the ordinance. A motion by Councilman Adrian Thompson. Second by Councilman Kent Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Ordinance is adopted. Before we get to Councilman Lambert, I would like to once again thank Lester Kenyon for his job tonight. Ms. Suzanne, thank you as always. Deputy Poche and Semino, thank y'all. Back of the room. Councilman Lambert.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to second that with wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
All right. Motion to adjourn by Councilman Lambert. Second by Councilman Adrian Thompson.